Hi, I'm Patrick Whitehead, current president of the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association. And if you'll just give me 2 minutes of your time, I would like to share some information that we feel is really important for our industry right now. This message is aimed specifically at those of us who hold a permit with the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission and serve the general public. No doubt spring of 2020 was like no other for all of us. The impact that COVID-19 had and the subsequent closure of tasting rooms was a hardship for everybody. When we had the opportunity, when things started to open up, TWGGA leaders and your TWGGA staff worked long, hard hours petitioning the governor and the governor's task force to allow tasting rooms to be a part of reopening Texas. As a condition for being allowed to reopen and serve wine for on-premise consumption, the Texas Craft Beverage Alliance, of which TWGGA is a member, we pledged to adhere to these guidelines that were set forth on May 18th and updated on June 3rd. Those are the guidelines that are referred to as the minimum standard health protocols. In the past week, we've seen the numbers rise on COVID-19 testing in Texas, and Governor Abbott and other officials are outwardly expressing concern that maybe some Texas businesses are not doing what they've been asked to do in terms of how we reopen Texas. I trust that if you own, manage, or work in a public tasting room in Texas, you're doing your very best to follow the minimum standard health protocols to offer both your guests and your employees the cleanest and safest environment that you can. And I say that not to be a bossy britches or to sound like a nag, because you need to be very aware that the governor, again, this week, has charged state agencies and local authorities with ensuring compliance. Over the last month, TABC agents have inspected nearly 3,000 permitted locations across the state, and they have found that most operators are acting responsibly and following the rules. However, they've been very clear that businesses that jeopardize Texas health and welfare will be shut down through license suspension or other regulatory measures. TABC, at this time, is strictly monitoring bar, restaurant, and craft beverage tasting room activity, and they will pursue emergency liquor license suspension if there are violations that are a threat to public health and safety. TABC has the authority to suspend any license that poses a continuing threat. The first infraction will result in up to a 30-day license suspension, and the second infraction will result in up to a 60-day suspension. Governor Greg Abbott specifically mentioned the TABC several times in yesterday's announcement. Last night, I was watching an interview with the governor on Fox 4 in Dallas, where again, he specifically mentioned the TABC, among other state agencies, that will be asked to enforce these rules. I do not want to be the cause of paranoia or undue worry. I just want you all to be aware that the alcohol sector, in particular those of us that serve alcohol on premise to consumers, are going to be under the microscope. We are under the microscope right now. I urge you not to push the envelope and to be thoughtful about how you carry out the Texas wine experience at your facility. If you haven't already done so, please make yourself familiar with the minimum standard health protocols. They can be found on the governor's website, that's gov.texas.gov, or on the TABC website at tabc.texas.gov. Good luck, good health, and cheers.